Okay, now on the stock market. I had a friend lose 50 grand in a day. And he said, "Oh, they told me it'll come back. It'll come back. If I just leave it, it'll come back." Okay, for a long time I've been watching the housing during Clinton. He opened that up so everybody could get a house. Then all the home builders come and the price of houses inflates and people get houses who probably wouldn't have had houses, and they claim that's a good thing. But then there's equity in houses, then they pull that equity out of the houses and they use that equity. But beyond that, when September 11th happened, when the towers fell, 2 buildings fell. Keep that in mind. Every manufacturing business, every place other than being scared was still open. They were still operating. They were still shipping goods. Stuff was being bought and sold, all the same. But everybody lost money. Everybody lost a lot of money. Well, where did the money go? Because all the goods are being shipped. They're being manufactured. It might have slowed down for a few days, but everybody lost money instantly, overnight. And the same thing happened with my friend later on. And the same thing happened in 2008. Oh, people lost $50,000, $100,000, $500,000 overnight. Well, where did the money go? It's the same thing when I had another friend pull money out of the stock market early, out of his investment portfolio at work. And he said, "Oh no, I lost this much money." Okay, you got penalized that much money. Where did the money go? So that's a huge part of the problem. When you hand your money to somebody and they're a third party, they act like the top party, but they're the third party, because the people producing the goods produce the goods and they get money for producing the goods if they're not large enough to be on the stock market. And then they get big enough to be on it, and then they say, "Oh, we needed all this investment money from all these people to grow." Well, no, you didn't. You were growing anyway. You were producing goods beforehand. And then the other person on the other end buys the goods. Well, their goods were inflated by the third party in the middle, the stock market. So I had to clarify that just a little bit. If you really think about it, if the stock market didn't exist, people would produce goods and people would sell goods and people would buy goods. So, and then the reliance on it is, oh, it'll be there one day. No, it won't be there one day. Because if anything major happened, especially in this country, your money would plummet. Everybody's so secure in this. But if anything worse happened than the Twin Towers, money would just fall. All that money would fall. And if you're 55, 60 years old, that money will never come back. But it goes somewhere. See, that's the funny thing. So it doesn't actually physically affect anything. It did physically affect 2 buildings and people's emotions and fears and everything else. But it didn't change anything else across the country that was actually being produced or moved around. The after effects would have. I understand that. So you got to be careful about who we give our money to and why. And all they're doing anyway, if you think about it logically, is they're making the price of goods you buy more. That's what's happening. You'd buy those goods anyway. Those goods would get produced anyway. And analysts and everybody could debate, oh no, they wouldn't get produced because they need these large volumes of money. No, I don't believe that. Somebody would produce it. It's the same thing as the farmer. They say, oh, we need these farmers, or we need this industry, or we need these people. No, we don't need to bail out businesses, because somebody would get in the tractor and somebody would plow the field and somebody would plant the field. It's the same thing as, let's say, Tesla. Would he come up with the money without investment money? Yes, over a slower period of time. And then it would be in reality, it would be in check. So now it's out of check. So now he's gotten a lot of money out of people and he hasn't produced the goods and services equivalent to the value of that money. So then that's all inflated because he didn't actually sell the cars and the goods that are equivalent to the value of the stock. So it's really a big pyramid scam, and people have to wake up and just think about it logically and wonder where all this money goes when something happens, and then realize there's not a large amount of security in it. There has been, and everybody holds on, and they force their money into this pool, and they say, oh, that money will be there. Yes, short of fear and catastrophe, then your money won't be there. Your life savings won't be there. And that's the real deal.